Hey everyone, welcome back to Chicory's Travels. Today we're going to talk about our top 5 money saving tips. And why are we going to talk about our top 5? Because this is part of a series that we're doing as a result of our 5 years of full-time RVing.
So all five of these tips are going to relate to a couple of different areas that end up being the biggest part of most RVers' budgets, and that's where you're going to park it, whether you're camping or dry camping. And the other one is fuel.
So jumping into the campground, we have 3 money-saving tips here. And the first one has to deal with your short overnight stays when you're between destinations. And one program that we really like to use is called Passport America. And they bill themselves as the 50% off camping club. And so what this means is you buy a membership, it's like $40 to $50, I think. And there's tons of member parks in Passport America, and they're a lot off of interstates and major roads. And so when you're ready to stop, you find a Passport America campground and you get 50% off what their nightly rate is.
And this is really great if you like to stay like in campgrounds. So for us, when we first started RVing, we didn't really have the confidence to dry camp, but we also didn't have the setup to dry camp. We had a residential refrigerator that had to be plugged in. We could not let it go even overnight. So being able to stay in campgrounds but not having to spend a lot of money on those overnights was a really good option for us.
Yeah, and we used it a lot on the East Coast, up and down I-95. We have a lot of family there. And so when we were driving, a perfect example is a great little campground called Bass Lake in South Carolina. And it's right off the highway. You pull in, it's a no-frills campground, but for 50% off the nightly rate and a nice, safe place to park and stop. It was a gated park, so really was worth the money and a very good program, Passport America.
And they're not all no frills. There's actually one in Destin, Florida, just across from the beach. It's not on the beach, but across from the beach. And they even let you stay up to a week with it. So some of them only let you stay 1 or 2 nights. Some of them let you stay a little bit longer. Some of them will also have like block out dates, like maybe you can't use it over a holiday weekend. So you definitely need to use the book or the online feature and double check. But still, if you're going to use it, if you're looking to stay with hookups for your short stays, we definitely recommend it.
Yeah. The next one is extended stays, which is a real way to save money when you're staying somewhere on an extended trip.
Yeah, we stayed at a place. The regular nightly rate was $65 a night for the back-end sites. And that's because it had 2 pools, 2 hot tubs, a restaurant, a bar, a fitness room, 2 laundry rooms, mini golf. I mean, pretty much everything you can imagine. It was in Arizona. We were there in the winter. So it had, it was deluxe. Let's just say that. But $65 a night, and we usually like to stay a month. That is a lot of money. But they have a monthly rate. And the monthly rate in the winter high season was only $690. So that is less than a third of what it would have been with the nightly rate. And many campgrounds offer that monthly rate at those huge discounts. We've stayed at a few others that were the same way. And some of them even offer a weekly rate. So if you don't want to stay a full month, a weekly rate is usually about 20-25% off. Now, I will add, though, that many of these that have the extended stay rate do meter electricity. So let's look at the example of Arizona. Now, we have a solar setup now, so we actually relied on that and only had to use the campground power when there were a couple cloudy days. So ours was only $29. And the lady up front thought the machine was broken. But I asked her how much it usually is, and she says, oh, someone who has like a big rig that's all electric, they'll be about $150. So you think the monthly rate was about $700. Add $150 to that, $850 is still well under what that nightly rate was. So it is still a very good deal, even if you're metering electricity.
And if you're going to be out during the day, just make sure to turn those things off that you're not going to use, and you'll save even more money on your electric.
Yeah. So another option though for stays, especially if you're like us now and you have a solar system or even better, some lithium batteries, is boondocking or dry camping.
Yeah, and there's lots of places you can do this. A lot of people think of Walmarts, Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, Camping Worlds, Cracker Barrels. They all offer RVers overnight parking in their parking lots. And that's one way to do boondocking, but a way that we prefer much better, and you see it a lot out west, is camping on BLM land or public trust land where it's actually little to no cost. You may have to pay for a permit, but it's very inexpensive, and you can usually stay for several days before you have to move.
Yeah, where we stayed on the BLM land, you can stay for 2 weeks at a time in a specific location. So that where we were for that 2 weeks, it was even free. Of course, you have to manage your water and find a dump station and things like that. But it was still such a great option. And it just really helps you connect with nature and enjoy it a little bit more. Now, I do want to talk real briefly about this other program that we really like for like our overnight stops. But I kind of just want to take a time out from this video because even though you might see a lot of other bloggers and vloggers saying that this is free camping, it's really not, and it's really not even money saving, but it is enjoyable. Yeah. So let's tell them about Harvest Hosts.
Yeah, so Harvest Host is a program that started on farms, and now it's grown to breweries, distilleries, wineries, museums, even golf courses now. And you pay an annual membership, and it varies between if you want the golf courses or not. So you pay this membership, and then you have access to all the members of Harvest Host to be able to stay. And the one catch is when you stay there, this is why Julie says it's not free, is they ask you to patronize the business that's associated with that stay. So whether it be a winery, you go in and do the tasting and buy a bottle of wine, or we stayed at a dairy farm and we ended up buying cheeses, lots of different ways to spend money. So part of the program is actually patronizing that business and also learning about the business and the surrounding community. So it's not exactly free, but it's a great way to meet people and learn about different areas of the country, as well as different working environments that people have.
Yeah, and you're supporting small businesses. And so I think it's a win-win, and I really enjoy it. So these were our campgrounds or camping type tips for saving money. Next, we're going to talk about saving money on gas. But before we do that real quick, I do also want to let you know about another video that we're recording. And this one is for an event called Full-Time Freedom Week. This is an online event that's going to have more than 3 videos in a 1-week time span that you can watch for free. And one of those videos is going to be us talking about budgeting and specifically about some unexpected expenses that actually happen quite a lot, but when people are planning, they don't often create that in their budgets. And then Sean is also doing a video on DIY solar. How much solar do you need, and kind of the process and how to get started for your DIY. So if you're interested in that Full-Time Freedom Week, I'm going to put a link in the description below. Go ahead and sign up for your free pass because you do have to have a free pass to access those videos.
Yeah, and I think it's more than 30 videos that are going to be shown throughout the week, right?
It's 32.
32 videos.
So that's why I said more than 30, but yeah, it's 32 videos. There's 4 days. There's going to be 8 videos per day.
And some of them even live. So, yeah, definitely worth checking that out. So now moving on to gas or fuel savings. And probably our number one tip for this is to slow down. I am a scientist, so I like reading lots of research. And I read a paper that was written. They did a study of a 18-wheeler over-the-road truck, and they tested it going 70 miles an hour and going 60 miles an hour over a certain distance. And by slowing down just at 10 miles an hour, the vehicle realized a 27% fuel savings. So just slowing down 10 miles an hour can keep dollars in your pocket. And so that's one thing that we started doing is keeping our speeds low and enjoying the journey.
Yeah, especially when you're not on an interstate. I mean, you can really enjoy some of the beautiful scenery. So even when we're at a place where the speed limit might be really high, we never go over 65 miles an hour. And what kind of fuel mileage do we get towing a big fifth wheel with a Chevy 3500 diesel truck?
Yeah, we get about 12 miles to the gallon. And the other thing is, like out west, you go places where the speed limit is 80 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're towing a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, your trailer tires aren't rated for that kind of speed. So it's also going to save you from having additional maintenance because you have destroyed your tires. And that brings me to my next point about fuel savings is to keep up with your preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance will go a long way in helping you maintain a decent fuel mileage, as well as keeping you from any unnecessary or early repairs to whether it's your motorhome or your tow vehicle or your towed vehicle for that matter.
And our last money saving tip, it's actually a 2-for-1 because we're going to talk about 2 apps that we use. One helps you save money and one helps you make money because it is a rebate program. So the first one that helps you save money is called Gas Buddy. And this is an app that allows you to set a radius in a local area and find out how much the gas costs before you actually go buy it. Now, we especially like to use Gas Buddy when we're at a campground and we have our RV at the campground, and now we can take our truck to even some smaller gas stations and not have to worry about maneuver. But when we were in Tucson, what was the price range again?
So within a 5-mile radius, the price of diesel varied by 30 cents a gallon. So it's worth driving a couple miles extra out of your way to save that, especially when you have a 30-gallon fuel tank, or even some people have even larger tanks than that. And 30 cents a gallon makes a big difference.
Yeah, and you can even use it for propane. So same thing when we were in Tucson, first time we got our propane from the campground right there. And they charge a little more because it's a kind of a convenience to have it there. But then we went, oh, wait a minute, we can use the Gas Buddy app for that. So we found a place that saved like $1 off of, how do they make, gallons?
I forget.
Pounds? I don't know. However they measure it, it saved quite a bit.
Yeah, and it was only 2 miles from the campground, so it wasn't even that far out of the way.
Yeah. So the other one is actually a rebate app. It's called Get Upside.
And this one was mostly on the East Coast, but it's starting to move out west. We're in Texas now, and I've heard commercials for it on the radio. So it is making its way across the country. And the way this works is you download the app and you pull up to a gas station and you see that it's a part of the Get Upside program. You fill up your vehicle and then you scan the receipt into the app and it gives you a certain rebate depending on the gas station and how long you've been a member and all that type of thing. And then once you build up enough money in your rebate pot, they'll send it to you in the form of a check.
Yeah, and you can invite people, and then you get extra bonuses for inviting other people if they accept your invitation and use the app. And it's like a bonus because if you can use the Gas Buddy app and find a place that accepts Get Upside and it has less expensive gas, it's like double on saving your money.
Yep.
So these were our top 5 money saving tips, but we have a lot more on our website, chickeriestravels.com. We actually have a whole section, if you look at the top toolbar, that says travel finance. And under there, not only do we have money saving tips, but we also have our full budget for the whole year of 2018 and also 2017. There wasn't a big change between the two. But you can go down that and you can see every single item, campgrounds, fuels, health insurance, mail, everything. So if you're interested in RVing finance issues, then definitely check out our website, chickeriestravels.com. Look for that travel finance section. And I think we pretty much have it all covered now.
Yeah. And if you're curious or have questions, you can use the Contact Us button and send us an email. And as long as it's a serious email and not some spam or porn advertisement, we'll answer the email. So feel free to send us an email, and we'll get back in touch with you.
Yeah, and we really hope to meet you on the road one day. But until we do,
Safe travels.